Big up Crosses TV.
I be across this job over your master.
Well, follow across this TV if you see the things. Them and subscribe to the YouTube channel, everything over there.
They can't clean. They're just 10. They can only straighten up their bed. They're not going to do it good. So I'm the one who do the cleaning. So while I was cleaning, and I was in the living room cleaning, and then I was going into her room. So she was in the room. She was on the laptop. So the minute I walk in the room, she shut down the laptop. So I said, "What are you in here watching? Why, as I come into this room, you shut down the laptop?" She said, "No, Auntie, I just some game me watch some." I called my daughter and I said, "Listen, you, because I'm not very computer literate like that, like going into what they used to watch." So I said to my daughter, "Come and try and find out what she was watching." So my daughter went into the history and she showed me that she was watching porn. She started to cry. So I said, "Adi, what is more, what a 10-year-old going to 11, what could have some motivate you people so sexually orientated? What is going on? What's happening?" She said, "Oh, um, I don't know." So I said, "No, you need to tell me." I said, "Oh, who start to show your porn?" Oh, yeah. She said, "Oh, one day daddy lent me phone, and as I open the phone, I see it and I share it to my laptop." I said, "You know how to do that?" She said, "Yes, Auntie, we know how to do that." This is a child that didn't know how to read. So we get into a big argument because I said, "You know what you're watching on your phone, and you take up the phone and you give to this little child to watch porn, knowing what she's going through." And him swear blind, she's lying and him not gonna like that. I know she must have get it from him because she's not going to nobody's house. She's only going to school when they come home most of the time. She's only with around us. So it get bad, but I noticed that they're getting closer and closer. And I still never think anything was wrong. I just think that, okay, because I'm putting all these rules and her dad is slacking up, she's getting closer to him. That's all I think. But one day, I wasn't feeling well one morning and I get up and I was supposed to go to work. But I didn't go to work. And I'm the kind of person when it's winter, I cover my head. So I cover my head and I was under the sheet. And I know which one of the kids I'm going to the shower. I always know which one of them going to the shower. So I know it was her that went into the shower because she stays shorter than any other kid. So she came out, and then I hear somebody said, "Lotion my back, daddy." And I was like, wait, but this pitney just come out of the shower. She don't go to her room. So how the hell she come in? So when I pulled the sheet from over my head, the little girl was standing right in front of me naked. I tell her father for lotion in her back. So I said, "What? Where the hell?" So I said, "Look, girl, you know, I'm not shame. You know, see your bust breast and you have pubic hair. Oh, you have to come stand up in front of your father, tell him to look." So I kind of slapped her with the towel and I said, "Go inside and go ask, should I even ask somebody else to lotion your back? What is wrong with your little girl? You must have some pride." But honestly, even that still never even, I never even think, like, honestly, wasn't thinking nothing. Because this is a man who is very handsome. Him can get woman, him cheat, him do all these things. So I am not thinking that way. None at all. Never even crossed my mind. Anyway, about another 2 months, we weren't talking because we always arguing over what this child to do, what this child not to do. So we weren't talking. And I heard him describing something on the phone, how him feel, him wake up and him feel. And by passing that here in the description, I know that he was actually having a fracture, heart failure. So I said to him, "Put on your clothes, let me carry you to the hospital because you're gonna have a heart failure." So he was like, "Oh, you know that?" I said, "I hear you describing your pain, and I am in the situation, the position to tell you that you're gonna have a heart failure." So he came with me and we went to the hospital. When we went, they admitted him immediately after the EKG. So he said, "How the hell you know that?" I said, "Okay, don't worry about know that. They're gonna take care of you." Because we weren't talking, but I still was there. So he was admitted in the hospital for about 2 days. And then I said, "Let me take the child to see him." While I was in the room, because he went to the hospital and I work, while I was in the room, the nurse was changing his drip. And I said to her, I called the taxi to come and pick her up because she had to go to school in the morning and I was going to stay longer. So he said, "Come kiss daddy." And she kissed him right on the mouth. And I was like, "What?" So I looked up at the nurse and she looked up at me. And I said to him, I said, you know, this is not appropriate the way I did kiss you a while ago. And he said, what you mean? Where you come with now? I said, listen, this child is 11 years old. She's busting breasts. She's not supposed to be comfortable mouth kissing you like that. Kiss you on the cheek. And the nurse said, this is a family matter, but I have to say something. She's right. And I find it strange too. So even if it don't mean nothing, you have to be careful because that kind of kiss is not appropriate. And him laugh and him say, okay, nurse, I'll never let him do it again. All that I still did not think anything, still think it was innocent. So the child went to school again one day, and I don't know what they caught her doing, but she went into the bathroom and she used like something and cut her wrist. So they call her and they tell her that she has to call me. So they called me and I went home. They said I have to take her to a psychiatrist. I took her to the psychiatrist. When I took her to the psychiatrist said to me, she's not sexually molested, but she's been molested. Somebody's touching her, feeling her, touchy, touchy, feely, feely. So I was like, what? But the only man in my house is the dad. And I'm not thinking about that. So I start thinking that it's the boys them that she's sending pictures or meeting up with or something. So I didn't want to rough her because I didn't think that I would get anything from it. So I took her to McDonald's because she likes McDonald's. And I said to her, order what you order. She ordered flappy. And I said to her, listen, who is touching you? She said, nobody, auntie, nobody. I said, tell me the truth. Anybody touch you? She said, no, auntie, nobody don't touch me. I said, so oh, the doctor said somebody. I don't know what the doctor talking about. So I said, okay then. So I took her home and I decided to have a family meeting. And while I was driving home, I was like, the only man in the house is this man. And I don't understand why these doctors and this child is behaving very explicit, like she's been exposed and all these things. So I have a meeting and I said to the two of them, me and the man, the two kids, and I said, listen, if anybody is touching you, you and Shinai, or anybody threaten you, anybody telling you anything that they're gonna hurt you, what they're gonna do, they're gonna kill you, they cannot. If you guys tell me they're gonna go to jail and they cannot. And he was there, he wasn't saying anything. And then I said to them, I said, Shinai, Tony ever touch you? Shinai said, no, mommy, no, no, no. I said, Hadi, Tony ever touch you? No, auntie, no, 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 no. You're mad? No, auntie. And then we had a big argument because I was like, yeah, where you putting on the picnic head? But I said, listen, I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question. I have to ask question. He started me a wicked woman, me a evil woman. Because look at, because if anyone pick them, they'd say, yes, me daddy believe them. So I said, yes, I would. I would believe them. Anything any kid tell me I'm to them, I'm gonna believe them. You better know that. But then we went to bed that night and he said to me, you know what, I have a confession to make to you. And I said to him, what is the confession? He said, okay. I never want to let down Adi, because I promised her that I wouldn't tell you anything. But the other day, when I didn't get any work on the truck, I was driving home to catch her, pick her, and go to school like a father-daughter thing. And when I get to the bus stop, I realized that she didn't take the bus. So I drive, I drive around looking for her. And when I look, I see she and a little boy going into a yard. So I said, what did you say? I think he said he never said anything, but him wait until she come back out and then him carry her home and him rough her up and him tell her, say, him a promise if she not do it again, he's not gonna tell me. That man divert me. Because here I think I get the answer. I'm like, yes. So I'm start worrying about who is doing this. Now I know who is doing this. She's meeting little boys. And that's what I think. So I said to him, I'm gonna ask her about it. He said, no, because if you ask her, then she's not gonna trust me no more. And anything else happen to her, anything else, she's not gonna tell me. I'm like, that could be true. Because if she feel like anything she tell him and him tell me, then him breach the trust between them. So I said, you know what? Let me not say anything.
But before you continue now, all right. So he is a father, and him say him 11-year-old child holding a little boy and walking into a yard, and you sit down and watch and wait for her to do what she had to then come out. That
He said she just went in there for a few seconds. That's what he said. It was long.
Hmm.
It was long. And they couldn't do, he said they couldn't do anything within that time either. So he said that he just tell her never do that again and whatever, whatever. Anyway, honestly, I didn't take it for anything. But one morning again, they called me, they tell me that she was not in school. And I said to him, oh the hell she never go to school. Him said her head was hurting her, and because he wasn't going out because he went to country and he was tired, so he just let her stay home. So I was like, listen, this is becoming a habit. Every minute there is an excuse and you have a good one for it. So I said, you keep on supporting this child with wrong and you keep on encouraging. So he said to me, oh, remember say she don't have no mother and her mother no call her, and sometimes she feel jealous over she don't have a mother and a father, and maybe that's why sometimes she act up. I buy the story. I buy it. Like, you know what? That could be she's missing her mother. All these things that he tell me, I start believing them. But then when she start lying, like one of the things that she did, she went to school and she get a really low grade and she was supposed to go on a trip. She was supposed to go on a trip and she got a really low grade in her test. She knew that if she gets such a low grade, she might not go on the trip. It's account to what punishment I am gonna give. So she came home and they send home the test paper normally for us to sign. So she came home and she signed the test paper herself and she bring it back to school. So the teacher called me the next day. That was the day that she went on the trip. She already gone on the trip. So the teacher called me and the teacher said to me, how comes you sign at the paper and I don't hear anything from you? And normally you would call to find out if it was telepump, if the test was supervised, why the grade was so low, or you would try to find out if she was taught this in school, why did she do so bad? So I said, what are you talking about? I haven't seen any tests. They said, yes. She came with a test that you signed, that you saw. I said, I never signed any test. So the teacher said, okay, I'm going to send back the test to you with the signature and you verify it. So she came from trip that night and I didn't say anything to her because I didn't want her to know that the teacher called me. So the next day I said to Shina, go to her classroom, you pick up the test paper, you bring it home. So my daughter bring home the test paper. So then I said to her father, did you sign this? He said, no, he never even see it. So I said, Adi, who signed this? She started to cry. I said, don't cry, because it's not like I'm beating you. Don't cry. Why would you sign this? I said, that's fraud. Are you learning fraud? She said, oh, because me did want to go on my trip, auntie, and I know if I do bad, you might not make me go on the trip. So I said, okay. So that give you the right to do what you do. Why you never leave it unsigned and wait until after the trip, then you show me the test? I said, don't you think that would be a better thing to do? Because I understand that you might be really want to go on the trip, and I understand that yes, you know I'm serious and I don't play with school grade. So I can understand a child being dodgy about that. I don't have no problem with that. Then he starts saying, "Where you drill the picnic for? Every picnic do that. Every picnic, and when me I go to school, me sign paper for my mother, me bring different parents." And I'm like, I said, are you listening to yourself? You're not even saying it to me. You're saying it in front of the child.
Mhm.
So it start like, I start really like getting annoyed and like I can't do this no more. It's too much distraction with me and this man. We're not having a relationship. So I said to him one day, I said, you know what? I really don't think this is working. I think you should go and rent a place and take your child. And if you still want her to come here and eat food, she eat food and whatever, and I still wash her clothes. But this child rearing thing between me and my daughter, I hear the different rearing agreement and all these things, not good for my child. And me have to think about my child. So me like, you know what? At the end of the day, you want to grow one way, I want to grow one way. It's not gonna happen, and it's not my child. So I can't make that decision. So I said, you know what? You grow your picnic, me grow my picnic. Because honestly, I can't bother with this. And honestly, I'm gonna say I regret that because it's like I turned her over to the predator more, never even realizing what I was doing. So one morning in question, we we decided he came down because every Saturday the two kids go to supermarket with me. Each kid pick up their favorite things. She likes certain snack, my daughter likes certain snack. So I just go in the supermarket, take a seat, maybe at the subway, leave them to run around, pull them basket with what they want, and then I pay for it. That's how we used to do it. So that morning she get up and she said to me, no, before we get there, one day he was in the chair. We were having like a good week and he was in the chair and I was lying on him and I see on his phone. He's always on his phone. So I kind of like peep up because I thought he was texting somebody. And then I see at the picture in a room. And I said to him, what? Which, when you get things, something where you can see her in a room. And him say, no man, she are going too bad. So me get somebody to install a camera in a room. So I said, you do what? He said, you don't know the camera, then you can go up on your phone and you can watch it. I said, what? I said, so if she come out of bathroom naked, you are watch her? He must say, no, maybe not idiot if she are going to the bathroom. Just more at there when she lock up in her room. And I said, don't you think that should be on my phone as the woman? He was like, get us somebody for go my picnic. Somebody I go my picnic. I was like, okay. So I said, I just think those things is not appropriate. I really don't think those things is appropriate. So I kind of like start thinking that this is weird, but I still like I don't know this guy and I'm not putting that on him and I don't think that of him. And I did never complain. None of the kids ever complained. My big daughter was around. They never complained. So I don't have no reason to even suspect him. Anyway, he came down the morning and he said to me, oh, I did not come into supermarket today. And I said, why? He said, because she said her stomach is hurting her. So I said to myself, you know what? Something she up to. But I never ever think that it was anything like to do with her father. So I said, are you coming? He said, no. Like I either hurt her, I'm gonna stay with her. So I gave him two more trim and I said, let she take the more trim. And after she take the more trim, let she tidy up her room. Because she's not coming to supermarket, she has to learn to do something. So he said, all right then. I went to supermarket and I took up the things in for her. Believe me, I live in that house and very rare I go up that stairs. I always stay at the bottom of the stairs because I don't like climbing stairs. So that day I came in and I said, you know what? She's gonna come and take her stuff out the car because I wanna run to the supermarket and get them. Me that because she keeps some of the stuff in her room. We said I am not taking them up there. So I came in and I never even call her. I just decide that I would walk up the stairs. And I walk up the stairs. And when I bust the door, I could not believe the way I was frightened. I couldn't even think. The only thing I remember is when he slid underneath me and he run. And when he run, I run behind him and I grab a kitchen knife and I run out of the house. He run out like in his underpants. He run out
Wait,
and
wait,
I
wait,
run out
wait,
behind him.
wait. You walk in the room and what?
When I walk in the room, I saw him down on her,
At
down on her.
an 11-year-old child.
Yes. And I screamed out, I said, Jesus Christ, what is this? And honestly, I was so frightened, like I don't know what to do. So he run underneath my hand, push me out the way, run through the door, run down the stairs, and I run down behind him. Then I run and I run him down, like run him out there. But he never have on any clothes, so he couldn't go too far. So he kind of stopped at a corner and he said, let me get some clothes, let me get some clothes. And I said to him, get in my car. You're not getting no clothes. Get in my car. and he came in the car because I jumped in the car and started driving because I couldn't catch him running. So when he realized that I was driving him down and screaming, rape thief and whatever, he never wanted the neighbor to hear him. So he stopped and he get in the car. So when he get in the car, I said to him, you're one picnic, you're one child, the child that you swear you cuss, you mash up a relationship. There's no relationship. What could motivate you to do this? He said to me, I know, for me picnic. I said, what? Is that you coming with? I said, how you know it's not your child? He said, oh, you remember the time when you go Jamaica? And her mother did a quarrel with you and I asked her, say, if you have to go to DNA, to get her up there, and you call me and tell me. Him say, when she come to America, him never, it's like him never see the bonding and because she go in a special ed class and him have nobody in him family way up and the people, the teacher them say it's a family thing. It motivate him to go do a DNA. This was about 3 years.
And none of
This
that
man do this.
makes it right that he was doing that to a baby.
I am not saying
None
it
of
make it
that
right. I'm only
makes it
saying.
right. His excuse.
Anyway, I decided I was gonna call the police. When I decided to call the police, my daughter called me and she said, Adi, tell me everything like you hear. She said, what Tony I do to her and I'm going to call the police. So I said, don't call the police. Let me call this police friend that I knew to find out what could happen. So I called the police guy and he said, listen, I can't talk to you like a police. I'm going to talk to you like a friend. Don't forget, it's 2 children in the house. They're going to take your daughter. And honestly, I said, not my picnic. I am not gonna make because of my careless decision to bring a man in the house, bring my daughter in the house, bring his daughter in my house, make my child go in and no foster care. So I said to him, you know what? Get out of my car. I'm gonna bring your clothes to you. So I went in and I packed up his clothes. I mean, everything. My daughter was like, wait there, wait there. So I said to my daughter, let's call the mother. So I called the mother and I tell her what happened. And that time I never knew that while I leave him there, he already called the mother. And him say, well, he never have sex with her. So when do if it wrong, but he might take care of her. And if you send him to prison, you now got to take up him responsibility. So make me deal with it.
Wait, hold
I
on,
will
hold on. The child's biological mother
mother said that.
said that him never have sex with her, so why him do?
Not gonna kill her. It's not gonna kill her. And I am not, if when me send him to prison, I'm not gonna take care of her child. I'm not the one who's gonna spend money on her. And she not have the money and she can't take her back now. So when my daughter hear that, because my daughter was witness to that, my daughter said, left your nastiness them alone. Don't get yourself in no trouble and make Jamaican people them come eat you and come set you up and come kill you. Make she go on because she know where the man do to her picnic and she has said that. So anyway, I threw his things out the house and I threw everything out. And I said, come and take your stuff then. He came, he said to me, okay, I'm going to ask you one favor. Can you let them stay in the truck, the back of the truck, because I don't have anywhere to go until I find a place. I said, okay, put them in the back of the truck. So I threw the truck key and I give it to him. And he said, so where Adi going to stay? I said, I'm keeping Adi. You're not keeping her. I'm keeping her. You're not keeping her. So I dropped him off at one of his friend's house. He said to me, can you drop me at my friend's house? I said, okay. So I dropped him off at his friend's house. When I dropped him off at the friend's house, I came back and I said to Adi, do not ever call him phone. No communication when I'm at work. No school, nothing. She went to school. She been going to school. I didn't hear anything from him. No, I'm lying. About 2 weeks after that, him called me and him said, the friend said, him girlfriend a come up from Jamaica and him a go need him space. So where am I gonna stay? Cause me don't know him have no papers, him can't rent nowhere. So I said, what to all them other woman? I say, me don't know say him can't go to no woman go tell him to rent. Honestly, he was a good person to me financially and everything. So I was like, you know what, it's winter. I'm not gonna make him stay in the streets. So I said to him, find a place, I will sign the lease. Find a place, I will sign the lease. I will rent it for you, but you're not coming back in my house. So he found a basement and I did sign the lease for him. I don't know when he moved into the place, but I went and I talked to the lady and I tell her that I will be helping with the rent and I signed the lease. So a week, never hear anything from him, never see him. And he came home crying one day and I said, what is it? And that's the letter. She said, they're fine. And I said to her, so why are you worried if they find the letter or not? If we get justice. She said, no, but I'm a father. I mean, I want him to get arrested. All this time, I never knew that this child been calling this guy every day, talking to this guy every day. I never knew none of that. So I get up the morning and I said to her, you're going to school. I don't care if you're worried about him or you don't want to, you're going to school. So I got her ready and I drive her to school myself. I watch her go through the door. When I watch her go through the door, I drove off and I went to work. While I was at work, they called me and they said to me that, where is this child? And I said to them that she's at school. They said, no, she didn't come in this morning. I said, you're joking. I drop her off. They said, no, she's not in school because the social worker went to go to see her to talk to her about something that they called the father, and she and the father was supposed to. She and the father, she and her father was supposed to meet, right? So the teacher said to her, the teacher said to her, she was supposed to come in, so she never come in. So when she never come in, she she meet. I came home. And I don't know, but you're gonna have to call me another time because my work time is up.
I understand. All right. I know you're at work, so I'm gonna have to let you go. There is a lot more to it. Um, you and I will talk off here. I'll let you
Okay,
continue to work. All right.
okay,
All right. Viewers, listen. This one is extremely sad tonight. You know, it's one that, as you can see and hear, I'm very disturbed by it. There's a lot more to the situation that she didn't get to. There's a whole lot more to the situation that she did not get to. But due to the fact that she's at work, and she did tell me that she will be at work, and as you could hear, there are persons entering the room that she is in. What makes this worse, and I wish she had gotten to it herself, the child is no longer alive. The baby girl that she is talking about is no longer alive. She sent me the photographs of this little child. And I said to Jay earlier that this is an innocent little baby. When I looked at the photograph, she was so tiny. She was so tiny that I just can't understand how or why this man would have felt the need to want to perform any form of sexual acts on this little child. Now, how the child passed, I won't get into that. I will leave that for the caller to continue her sharing this experience with us.
I wrote a letter about how I wanted to end my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I must have dropped it in my book bag because Anne-Marie was coming in the room. I never wanted her to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I dropped it in my book bag, and when we're overseas, when we go to school, them ask us to clean out our backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
Because every Friday we do it, so rat and those things don't call into the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher must have found it in the garbage bin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I never cleared it up. I just left it in the garbage bin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the day when
Anne
walked in, I see your father down on you. What happened? Was he really down on you? Were your underwear off? Was he eating your vagina?
Yes, they were off.
And he was eating your vagina?
Yes.
But how comes you guys get to that point? Anne was not home. What happened? Walk me through the whole thing.
What do you call it? What do you call it? I really don't remember how it started.
Mm-hmm.
But all I know is that it was down on me. And then Anne-Marie walked in the room. Daddy and Anne-Marie got in an argument. Anne-Marie ran Daddy ran outside the door. And Auntie ran after him and I cussed him out.
Mm-hmm.
My older stepsister come in my room. Them did a house no walk one. I'ma tell them everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days after, I wrote the letter.
Oh, so it was a couple days after that happened to you, you wrote the letter that the teacher found at school.
Yes.
But before that happened to you, has he ever touched you before that?
One time.
And what did he do?
But that time, we were just kissing.
And this was something that you thought it was wrong, or you knew it was wrong, or you was wondering what the hell was going on? Like, how old were you then?
At that age, I was like 11-ish. 11-ish, just turning 12.
So, has he ever tell you, like, I'm attractive to you? How he just walking and just start to kiss you? Are you kissing him back? Because you didn't know better. You were a little kid.
Yes, he never said he liked me. And he said it was normal. He said it was normal for daughter and father to kiss.
But not to eat your vagina. But he had never stick his penis into you though.
Yes.
He stick his
He has never done that.
Oh, he has never done that. All he did was kiss you, and then when Anne walked in, he was eating your vagina. But have he ever tried to have sex with you?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. So have you ever like nibble on your breast or suck your titties or anything?
No.
Okay. So that's how I know you're not lying, because you don't say he do all of them stuff. You only said he did what he did.
Yes.
So have you ever spoke to him about it?
No. Because I don't like talk
about it. Yeah, I understand. And Has he ever tell you like, don't tell nobody, this is between me and you? Have he ever threatened you?
One time he said he did have a movie, but the Jamaica didn't tell anybody.
That's some fucked up shit though. Like, I really don't like that because, as I said, you know, he might and kick off and the argument come out, and I asked him about it and he said no. So I said, let me get to the source. Let me ask you, because you had to know what went down and you had to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some fucked up shit. That was not right what he did to you. And, you know, I don't know how much damage he has done to you with that. Do you feel bad? Do you think about it? Do you ever get counseling? Anything?
No, I don't get counseling.
But does it affect you now? Is it affecting you now in any way?
Yes.
And your mom know about this?
Yes, my mother knows about it.
And what she do? What she say? What she do?
What do you call it? I don't talk to her about it.
Okay, you try to block it out of your mind.
Yes.
But deep down inside, sometimes it affects you.
Yes. Like, now as I'm getting older and getting on the boy them, it just makes me feel uncomfortable around them.
Yeah, like you can't trust nobody.
Yes.
You need some counseling. You need some counseling because, as you say, you're getting older. It started to affect you more because when you're young, you didn't know what was right and what was wrong. But now people talking about it, we asking you about it, you speaking about it. So you definitely need some help. Like, who you have anybody you could confide in?
Just Jamaican people are different. If I tell them one thing, they go and tell everybody.
Yeah, and that's something that you don't want nobody to know about you because that happened here. And since you're back in Jamaica, you don't want to bring what happened here back home. But I don't know, you need counseling. We need to get you somebody to counsel you something because and I think you need to talk to him about it. I think you need to woman up and talk to him about it. Like, tell him he hurt you. Yeah, you need to talk to him about it. Because it's not fair for you alone to be living there with that guilt. No, son.
Yeah. And Marie is saying that my father is not my real father.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So nobody talked to you about that? You never asked him? You spoke to him since?
Just listening to this is heart wrenching.